Alright guys, I've just started this video. I might actually have to pause it. Not sure if I can pause it actually. But I was just saying about this area here, and this is actually starting from the 1 minute scalping strategy that I use on Bitcoin. And this actually works on the 5 minute as well, and you can actually do this on the higher time frames such as the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 15 minutes and the 30 minutes. And I do have all those screens on my big 42-inch TV just laid out so I can watch them throughout the day. But I usually just keep up this 1 minute chart and a 5 minute chart. And what we're actually looking for is kind of what's actually going on now. So as you can see the 5 minute chart there, but we didn't have a divergence. What we want to see is divergence here on the RSI, and I'm going to show you some examples about this as well. But what we want to see is this is exactly what we want to see here. So you've seen this low on the RSI, and you can see this wick. It's better with wiki action as well. You can see this pump in volume. So obviously this has triggered a bit of volume here on the buy and sell side. And what we're kind of looking for now is price to actually come back down and just wick, but it has to close above this level, that wick. So it's literally just a stop run, and we want to see like a little we want to see it like a little boost in volume as well. It doesn't have to be huge like this, but if it's all low volume like this and you see an uptick, that's a bit more scalable. You kind of get the idea that more people have been stopped out and you've just run all the stops on those people. It's looking like it's going to bounce at the moment, but it's still fine at the moment, but you'd have to diverge as well. You want divergence along with this, so you need a higher low on the RSI as this comes and wicks down. And if it closes above this level, you put the stop just below whatever that low was. I like to do some high leverage on this and BitMEX, but be careful. Make sure you've got enough margin in your account, because you don't want to get liquidated, and then that will just cause unnecessary extra value to lose from your account. So the less margin you can use, the better. If you've got enough equity, use some cross maybe, and make sure you've got enough money in there so you don't actually get liquidated. And then just make sure you always put a stop. That's the thing. You need to be kind of trained with this, or get used to actual BitMEX platform or Deribit, whatever you want to use, in actually making sure you're quick enough to set some stops, because this can move quickly. So you want to make sure you get your stops in as quick as you can. So that's kind of playing out at the moment. I'm going to have to leave that one there. And as you can see here on the side here, this is just so you can actually just keep on doing other things throughout the day. I've got the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart and the 15 minute chart. I've actually got alerts here on the RSI, on the 70 and the 30, and all the time frames, and it just they always say, so it's not just a one-off alert. It's if it goes off, the next time it happens it'll also go off. And this just saves me just staring at this chart all day. I do have it up on my TV, but sometimes, even if you was a proper degenerate and you wanted to sleep and put this towards, attach this to your surround sound, which I do sometimes as well. But I do have the alerts there, so I'm just going to leave this on. And I'm going to show you on this screen. So I've actually got 4 out of 4 on the last couple of days. I'll show you all the trades here. So what time was we going? So I took this one here. You can see this divergence. Both of these are overbought on the 1 minute chart. And then nothing really happened here. It didn't actually close above here, and then it just done this divergence again where it was overbought. And you can see this tiny wick. So it broke above this higher. What is going on? So you can see it just about, and then it closed back below, and it had the divergence. Don't have the volume on this, but then you can just see this sharp move down. What it's done is just gain some liquidity. So what you can do is you can set a really tight stop, and you get some really good risk to reward. So I'll just put that above the higher, and then you can just see these drops. That that's a 5.82, and so you're getting really good, huge risk to rewards on just a 1 minute time frame. Where else have we got on? Remember, it has to wick above, so you can see this area here, but you want it to wick and then come back down. It wasn't really no wick there, it's just a candle close above. This one was a bit sketchy. This one actually on the morning, this actually made a different reading. You might have seen it on my Twitter, that this actually posted a different reading actually on the BitMEX platform. So actually this candle closed perfectly. Why it's being so slow. So this candle here actually closed perfectly above this red line, and as soon as that happened, I hit the long. I put my stop this area here. Obviously that's a massive wick, so I've just put my stop around here, which is a little bit more risky. And I just set, if you see actually on Twitter as well, I was updating everyone, and I posted it in the group. I literally just scoured this. I like to do a trading stop, so have an initial target. That's my thing. Have an initial target in place to take off some money. Always book some profits with this. Get yourself paid. No one's ever gone broke getting paid. And then what you can actually do is you set a trailing stop. So what I like to do is say this is where you took your profits at this area around here. You took 50%, and then you see this candle starts going up, and I'll just literally just manually move up my stop loss below the candle. So I'll move it up to here, and then you see this another pump candle. I'd move it below that, and then it would pump again. I'll move it below that, and then that would go up. I'd move it below that, and then you eventually just get caught out. And I left a bit of money on the table here, but nonetheless, that was still like another 5. So in a day here, I've made, what's that, near enough 11R, which I can't really moan about on just scalping a 1 minute chart. There were some massive ones earlier. I caught one earlier, but I was going to bed, so I just took a take profit on it, and I think I took 7R for it at like 3 o'clock this morning. And I was kind of pissed off because I missed this one as well, which basically, if I was awake, I'll show you that one first actually. So I took this one. What time is it? About 3 o'clock in the morning. So you can see this one here, this divergence from here to here, and you just see it run out the lows and then just wicked, and just had that really nice wick. So I gave this a bit of leeway room, and I was shooting off to bed anyway. So I thought it's a set and forget kind of trade. And I left my wiggle room around about there. What did I go for? 7. I actually felt so shitty when I woke up and saw this. So my target was here around these highs. I think it was a bit more actually. It was this double high. So I got about 8R on that trade. But look at this upside potential. Look at this scaling. Even if you just continue these stops and trailed them all the way up, look at this action. You know, it's just going parabolic on the 1 minute chart. And realistically, if I was awake, could have trailed this up to 21R, which would have been amazing. That would have been about 33R today in one single day, just traded a 1 minute chart. And then we started looking around this area, and this one also pissed me off that I wasn't awake for this. As you can see, there's a divergence here, but there was no wick. It just closed above. It's important. You have to just be a bit patient with this, and make sure you see a wick. Don't just think, oh, double top divergence. Make sure it wicks. You want to see a little uptick in volume as well. Nothing there. And then this was the one here. As you can see, I'll zoom in a few here. So this right here, divergence here, the candle, oh fuck's sake. You can see the candle closed above that. What you want is a candle to just go instantly, wick through and then come straight back again. And then you kind of got it here again. Would have been literally about here. And as you can see, it's gone up to it. It's gone up. It's wicked. This had a uptick in volume. I don't actually have the volume saved on this side for some reason. And it's closed right there. As soon as you see that with this divergence, look, the bearish divergence, and this gives you a brilliant entry as well. As soon as it stops there, and just look at this. Take some profits on the way. Trail your stops. And when I see a massive one like this, I just bring my stop down straight away. Because a lot of the time you just see a huge pump candle back in the other direction. So I'll just put this in. Don't get too greedy with it. Look, gone down to 15.29. So the last two have been 35, and then the ones that I've booked this morning as well today during the day was 11. So what's that? Just say 20, 35. You're looking at about 45R today just on that. Just by sitting around doing that, which is not bad at all. And I booked some last night as well in the evening. Was it here, I think? Yeah, it was here. And remember, if it has to actually wick below that candle. So here, you see this low, and then you see this divergence, but it didn't wick below that low. You have to go with those, and it just happened here. You can just see that there was like three. Come on. You can see that there was a couple of wicks through there, and then once again, it's just such low risk, such low risk, and the rewards are so great because you just pinch that liquidity and your stop's literally nowhere away. And look, once again, 6. So this is the 1 minute strategy, and like I said, you can do this in the 5 minute chart as well. Do exactly the same thing. Look for the 5 minute divergences, and oh shit, look for the 5 minute divergences, and then wait for that wick to go down. Same with the 15 minute chart. There was a really good one on the 15 minute chart earlier today, but it was just a bit wider with the stop. That's all. And you want to make sure that they're oversold or overbought at some point to start the divergence. Don't just do them anywhere. So this one also works with oil, and I like oil because it's also a chart that you can actually trade in 1 minute. Oil, there was a point I remember last year that hardly moved and the spreads were so high, but now you've got oil and they move so well. And I took a trade on this yesterday. Where was we? On the 5 minute chart. Oh, hello. Right, so I'm recording this for you right now, guys. But I would be taking this trade right here. Look at that. That's exactly what you want to see. So you see the bullish divergence. You see this wick. And basically you'll just be going bang. Like so, and then you see this area here, like that, it just stands out to me instantly. That's a 7.3, but just trail out along the way. But I'll show you my trade from yesterday. It was this trade right here, and then you can see the bullish divergence. Was this the one? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, or 12 o'clock in the morning? Yep. You can see right here, that's the low. A lovely wick. As soon as it closed back in, just longed in that candle right there. I set my stop around about here, and we just rode this up. I think this was about 6 to 1. I think I took on this one altogether. It was about this area here. Yeah, 6 to 1. When I started seeing it pulling back, I basically just trailed this stop up below the candle closes. So just as you can see, pumps, put my candle there, my trailing stop there, etc, and it ended up doing this pump candle, and I just put my stop just below there, and it ended up stopping me out for a 6 gain. So this is just once again on the 1 minute chart. So you could, if you're awake, obviously you're not going to be awake 24/7. That's what pisses me off the most, to be honest. Like, I hate missing opportunities and I hate missing out on money, but you've got to sleep unfortunately. But just keep on doing this and just keep looking into it. I advise you at the start to make sure you understand your platform if you're trading oil, because the 1 minutes can move quite quickly. The 5 minutes I prefer to use on oil, but you can use the 1 minute as well. It does work fine. So that is the strategy. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. And I hope it all made sense. I think I've got everything covered. So just look for upticks in volume. And yeah, just make sure you get the wick. Make sure you get the wick, and make sure you get the divergence. Now, I've posted some screenshots of these in the actual RSI divergence SFP channel in the Discord. So if you get stuck, just revert to those or print them out, or do whatever you have to do. Set them as your wallpaper. Just keep a copy of those, guys. That's what they're there for. Just so you can, if you ever get stuck or sometimes you just forget about the basics, just quickly pull back those and take another look at them. So thanks for watching, guys. ACX. Take care.